Number 40, My Club Rules. This episode doesn't really rule over the other episodes, but I can't say it's actually bad. I guess I did like the clubs clashing with each other and all of the friends eventually splitting up. But otherwise, it has the problem I have with most of season 1. Number 39 is DW Thinks Big. I don't think the writers thought big about this episode. There's just not much I like and not much I dislike. That's all I have to say. Number 38 is Arthur Makes a Team. Yeah, this episode is pretty forgettable in my opinion, but I think this is the episode about baseball. It's pretty forgettable, honestly. But I'm giving it a 1 out of 10 because it's not as boring. It's just because I think there were moments I liked about this episode. 37, Arthur and the True Francine. I really like this episode. The fact that this episode's about how Francine met Muffy. But that's all I like about it. It's kind of wasted potential in my opinion. Number 36 is Arthur's Pet Business. This episode is really unrealistic for for a show that's supposed to be slice of life. To be honest. I like that I like the ending, and I really think the W is pretty unlikable because she wants her brother to get in trouble. Number 35 is Arthur's Baby. It's much better than DW's Baby, but that doesn't save this episode from being that. But I just think Arthur's Baby is not really good because once again it's boring. I think you're hearing me say it's boring a lot of times, but trust me, I really think this is a major problem with many season 1 episodes. Like this episode at number 34, Meek for a Week. Well, kinda. It's getting a 2 out of 10 because at least it actually shows that at least the Arthur's friends confront Francine for her behavior, but when she becomes bossy again, then her team wins again. I did like the scene where Francine said pops. I think that was pretty funny, but and I really like how Brain thinks it's pressure, but otherwise I think this is an episode that is very close to being a good episode. Just like number 33, The Perfect Brother. I really like that Brain is being a good friend to Arthur. But that's about the only positive thing I can say about it. Rest of the episode is just meh. Arthur's new puppy is about Arthur taking care of Pal. I did like but I guess it was good that Arthur named his dog Pal. Otherwise, I don't really like this episode that much. But our first good episode is actually more than halfway in the season, being number 31, So Long Spanky. Yeah, the death episode already. The show covers the topic of death in its 25th episode. And I remember that because I remember that because this is season one of Arthur, and it's already tackling the topic of death of a pet so early. And I remember it because it's one of the earlier episodes, season one. That's actually quite impressive for. That's actually quite impressive. But and I did like the joke about DW thinking that about DW saying, "When will Spanky stop being dead?" And then her dad was like, "Spanky can't stop being dead," but it sounded like he wasn't sure. That was a pretty good joke in this episode. And I really like how DW hates the frog or toad, but then befriends it. Although I don't think Toadie appears anywhere in any other episode aside from this title card. I was one that title card anyway. Number 30 is My Dad the Garbage Man. Yeah, I don't think this episode is not garbage. In fact, I actually think it's good. My favorite part of this episode is actually the ending. I guess I did like that. I also did like that Oliver likes being a garbage man. And shows the kids how it's cool to be one. But the reason why I like the ending so much is because he made something out of the garbage. Number 29 is I'm a Poet. This is the this is this is paired this is one of the later episodes, and it this late into the season, and it's introducing Fern to the audience. Seems pretty late for an introduction to Fern. But I don't mind because despite me liking Fern as a character, I think that that the other characters steal the show this episode. And Fern is just better in other episodes. Like a season 2 episode called Fern's Slumber Party. Number 28 is Team Trouble. Wait. Well, I think this episode executes its moral well, giving it a 3 out of 10. Number 27, we actually have the sister episode of Arthur's Eyes, which I thought was a bad episode, but this one I actually thought is pretty good. Francine's bad hair day actually introduces Muffy this early in the show in one of its first episodes. I guess it's true that Muffy didn't. I guess I like that the fact that reason why I like this episode is because having Francine's hairdo be kept until the class photo. That's actually what Muffy wants, so that Francine looks good in the class photo. But she is treated like the antagonist, but for a good reason, because because she told Francine that She can't do the things she likes, or else she'll get her hair ruined. It's understandable why she did this though, because she just wants Francine to look good in the class picture. Number 26 is DW Rise Again, and number 25 is DW Flips. Actually, I'm just going to say that that both these episodes are just interchangeable. These episodes are pretty similar to each other, and that's why I'm saying that they're interchangeable. I just think DW Flips is at number 25 because it actually has something cooler to do. Imagine spots were better, but otherwise both these episodes are really interesting. Number 24 is DW All Wet. I really like DW's fear of octopi. And that ominous music that plays when she actually sees an octopus. It's the first time they use this type of ominous music in the show. Number 23 is DW the Copycat. Arthur's kind of mean to DW in this episode, but that's because he thinks DW is bugging him. When DW decides to be the same as Arthur, I think that's actually kind of a considerate moment, and that's why I think this episode is pretty great. But I really like that. I really like that this episode tells the moral about being yourself, though, which actually pretty much fits for this, because DW is bugging because in the end DW bugs Arthur because she is exactly like him. Number 22 is DW's imaginary friend. I like this episode because I like Nadine. That's all. I don't have much to say. Number 21 is Arthur Writes a Story. Arthur Writes a Story is a pretty interesting episode in my opinion. Arthur This is paired with Arthur's Lost Dog, which is an episode I didn't really like, but I'm just going to say that the pair is good because of this episode. Arthur writes a story for his class and he's confident that of making one that the entire class will enjoy. You know, I really like the fact that Arthur decides to write about how he got Pal. But the W tells him that it's boring, so he starts changing a few details. I really like Arthur writes a story because now I'm going to end this video like I did with part 1 because that's going to be saved for part 3.